Let's talk about GPT 5.5, but not in the usual way, not just is it better than the last model, not just what are the benchmark scores, and not just which chatbot is number one. The real question is this: what kind of work can we now give to AI that we could not confidently give before? That is where GPT 5.5 becomes interesting. For a long time, most people used AI for small tasks. Write an email, summarize a document, create a LinkedIn post, explain an error, give me ideas, and yes, AI was useful for that. But those are clean tasks. The instruction is simple, the input is small, the output is easy to check. Real work is not like that. Real work is messy. You have unclear instructions, old spreadsheets, half-complete documents, missing context, different file formats, and people expecting a finished result, not just a nice answer. That is where the new generation of AI models matters. The difference is no longer only about who writes the best paragraph. The difference is about who can carry the work. Can the model understand the goal? Can it organize the task? Can it keep the thread when the task becomes long? Can it move from analysis to a useful deliverable? That is the real shift. And this is why GPT 5.5 matters. It feels less like a simple chatbot and more like a serious work partner. A model that can take a messy request and move it much closer to a finished result. But let's be clear, that does not mean it is perfect. And this is where many people will make a mistake. Some people will overhype it and trust it blindly. Others will test it with simple tasks and say, I don't see the big difference. Both reactions miss the point. If you ask GPT 5.5 to write a short email, maybe the difference will not feel huge because many AI models can already do that. But if you ask it to review a business plan, compare documents, prepare a report, clean up a workflow, or help build a prototype, then the difference becomes much clearer. The frontier has moved from simple answers to complex execution. Imagine you are running a business. You have customer data in Excel, invoices in PDF, meeting notes in Word, and decisions hidden inside emails. Now you ask AI, organize this, find the issues, create a clean report, suggest next steps, and prepare a presentation. Older models could help, but they often needed too much hand-holding. They might summarize one file well, then lose the bigger picture. They might write a good section, but forget the original goal. GPT 5.5 is stronger because it can hold more of the task together. It understands the shape of the work earlier. It needs less explanation. It can move from analysis to structure to output more naturally. And that matters because in real work, the value is not one perfect sentence. The value is reducing the heavy middle part of the job, the organizing, the comparing, the drafting, the checking, the preparing. That is where AI is becoming powerful. But here is the warning: strong AI does not remove the need for human judgment. Actually, the stronger the AI gets, the more important your judgment becomes. Because a weak model fails obviously. A strong model can fail beautifully. It can produce something polished, professional, and convincing while still hiding a mistake. That is dangerous. So the right workflow is not AI, do everything, and I will trust it. The right workflow is AI, do the heavy first pass, then I will validate the important parts. Use AI to accelerate the work, but validate anything connected to money, law, safety, customer data, production systems, contracts, or strategic decisions. AI can help you move faster, but you are still responsible for the final judgment. Now let's talk about model choice. Another mistake people make is thinking there will be one perfect AI model for everything. That is not how serious AI work will function. The future is not one model. The future is routing. You choose the right model for the right job. For complex execution, GPT 5.5 is a very strong default. If the work involves documents, spreadsheets, research, coding, data, or multiple steps, GPT 5.5 should be in the conversation. For writing, it is also stronger because it can hold the structure of a longer argument better. Most AI writing fails not because the sentences are bad. It fails because the structure is weak. The introduction does not create tension. The middle does not build properly. The conclusion feels paced on. A stronger model does not just write better sentences, it understands the flow of the argument. That makes a big difference for reports, scripts, proposals, and management communication. But for visual taste, design, and blank canvas creativity, you may still want to compare models. Some models may create better design direction, some may be better at critique, some may produce stronger visual layouts from scratch. So instead of asking which model is best, ask what is the job. If the job is deep execution, use the strongest reasoning model. If the job is visual direction, use a model or tool that gives better design taste. If the job is coding, use AI inside the actual coding environment. If the job is data work, use AI for the first pass, but add validation. If the job is research, ask for sources, uncertainty, and counterpoints. This is how advanced users will work. They will not just prompt randomly. They will build workflows, and this is where AI inside working environments becomes important. A model inside a chat window can advise you, but a model inside a working environment can act. It can inspect files, edit code, run checks, find errors, fix issues, create artifacts, and repeat the process. That is a different level of usefulness. A smart model becomes more valuable when it has tools, and tools become more valuable when the model is smart enough to use them properly. So how should you use GPT 5.5 in real life? First, use it for messy thinking. When you have too much information and no clear structure, ask it to organize the problem. Ask what are the key themes? What are the risks? What is missing? What decisions are required? What should I do next? Second, use it for first drafts of serious work, not final drafts. First drafts, reports, presentations, process documents, project plans, scripts, executive summaries. Let it build the first strong version. Then you review, correct, and sharpen it. Third, use it for data and document work. But always validate. If AI cleans a spreadsheet, check row counts. If it summarizes a contract, check the original clauses. If it produces numbers, verify the source. The model can save hours, but validation saves disasters. Fourth, use it as a second brain for decisions. Ask it to challenge your thinking, ask it to show weak points. Ask what a skeptical manager, customer, engineer, or investor would question. This is one of the most underrated uses of AI, not just creating content, improving your thinking. So, what does all this mean? It means the AI skill is changing. In the beginning, the skill was prompting. Then it became prompt engineering. Now the skill is workflow design. The people who win with AI will not be the people who ask one clever question. They will be the people who know how to break work into stages, collect information, organize it, generate the first output, validate, improve it, turn it into a usable deliverable. That is the professional AI workflow. And this is why many people will underuse GPT 5.5. They will use it like a better search engine. They will ask simple questions and stop there. But the real value comes when you ask it to help carry complex work. Not replace your brain, extend your brain, not replace your judgment. Strengthen your judgment, not do the job blindly. Help you move from messy information to usable output faster. So here is my conclusion. GPT 5.5 is not important because it can write a better paragraph. It is important because it changes the size of the task you can confidently attempt with AI. You can ask for more structure, more analysis, more planning, more comparison, more execution, but you also need more validation because as AI gets stronger, your responsibility does not disappear, it increases. The best users will be directors. They will guide the model, check the model, root the work, and build systems around it. So if you are testing GPT 5.5, don't test it only with easy prompts. Give it the kind of work that normally slows you down. A messy report, a complicated spreadsheet, a long document, a business idea, a workflow problem, a research question, a presentation brief. Then watch how far it can carry the work. That is where you will understand what changed. Because the future of AI is not just chat. The future of AI is work. And the people who learn this early will have a serious advantage. This is the Model Bulletin. Subscribe for simple breakdowns of AI models, tools, workflows, and automation.